Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth4 for the year in review for 2020. It's been a year. If you want to see the weekly update, that's a different video. It went up already. But yeah, this is just going to be talking about games, let's plays, events, and things that happen in the world, mainly people dying, and my top 10 games of the year of 2020. So this year kind of sucked, didn't it? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. This year kind of sucked. I could be flippant because I'm depressed. But yeah, let's start with the less depressing and go to the. Let's start with the more depressing, and go to the less depressing. We're gonna start with the people we lost. I write them down. Mainly because I'm gonna forget otherwise, or like, I don't know, it's a long year. You're like, that was this year? It's like, large boulder the size of a small boulder was 2020? And you're like, yeah, it was. So, you know, but yeah. So I have a very curated list of at least people that meant something to me, or to the world at large. But world events slash people that passed away. The very beginning of the year, before all this, Terry Jones of Monty Python passed away. Which was very sad because that man was an incredible comedian. Kobe Bryant, that he had a, I think it was the helicopter accident, which, yes, that was 2020 also. Kirk Douglas died at 103 with ripe old age, which I'm sad about that because he was a very large patron of Jewish educational institutions. He was just a good person. I believe his wife is still alive, and she's like 102. And her. So yeah, I don't know. Kirk Douglas, just very, very fine human being. You know, one of the old actors. You know, from all the way back. Sagan George, Stephen George's, one of their cats, passed away unexpectedly, and that was very, very sad. It's still very sad. He was a good cat. And then the world kind of went crazy. Coronavirus broke out in the United States. It had already been going crazy in other places, and you know, we had decided that we're above it, so instead of taking precautions, we just let it come right into the country. But we're not going to get into that politics here. But yes, the coronavirus happened in March. Kenny Rogers passed away, I don't think of COVID. New Jersey went on lockdown along with a good chunk of the rest of the country, which was something. Our rabbi here, Rabbi Aaron Walken, of blessed memory, passed away from COVID. One of the smartest and wisest people I had ever met. You know, the man that just guided us spiritually, and you know, as a friend to my father, which was just a huge loss. Little Richard passed away. Jerry Stiller, Fred Willard, Little Richard, musician, Jerry Stiller, Fred Willard, actors slash comedians, Carl Reiner, actor slash director slash comedian, Ennio Morricone, who did some amazing compositions for like Wild West music and amongst other things. Grant Imahara of Mythbusters died very suddenly. Joanna Cole, who wrote the Magic School Bus series, passed away. Regis Philbin, Wilford Brimley, Chadwick Boseman died of cancer, and that was very, very tragic. Also, from what everyone says, a fantastic human being. Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away also of complications related to cancer. Sean Connery passed away. He was in his 90s, 91, something like that. Two other rabbis, Rabbi David Feinstein, who was one of the heads of like all of the rabbis in America. The son of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, who passed away in the 70s or something. But Rabbi Moshe Feinstein's father was like considered the rabbinic authority of like anywhere. Like when he said something, people are like, okay, which with Jews, very, very hard to listen to one person. It's like, I don't want to perpetuate stereotypes, but it's like between two Jewish people, there's like 10 opinions, which is part of like, I don't know, our culture is asking and re-asking questions and coming to consensuses and things like that. But he was the authority, so his son was very much a spiritual leader, and his passing is very difficult. And on the same day, or like the day after, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of England, passed away, who is another giant in intellectual philosophy and Judaism in particular, but just ideas of integrating Jewish law and philosophical, moral, ethical ideas into life, taking the human aspect of things and bringing them into into practical application. And he was also just an authority. He didn't have the he was the chief rabbi of England, appointed by Her Majesty the Queen. So it's also of cancer, I believe, and that was a great loss, because again, just voices of reason, voices of morality and ethics are very needed, very, very needed in today's times. Alex Trebek passed away from cancer as well. He put up a very good fight, but I was very sad. It's an end of an era for Jeopardy. Jeopardy is gonna go on. They're gonna have other people, but Alex Trebek was also just he was in show business forever, and you never heard anything bad about him. Like, he was not he was a public figure. Like, he didn't just stay behind the scenes. Like, he was out there. He showed up in TV shows and things, and you never heard, there's no scandals or anything. He was a good person. And again, the world needed those. Alex Trebek, always soft-spoken, very just smart, very kind, just had an aura of kindness. And the last one I have on the list here is Chuck Yeager. So yeah, that was just world type events. More personally, and I guess getting into things that are happy and sad together now. My friend Fury got married. Yee, Fury. I'm very happy for you. I did finish that Persona art. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm really, thank you, Light, for being right in the middle of it. I'm really, really proud. One sec. I'll point to it. If you can't tell which one's Persona, it's the one right in the middle. I'm really, really proud that I got that done by the time that Persona 5 Royal came out. I worked so hard on each and every piece of that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 separate components. 10 different drawings, each one taking, aside from Morgana, dozens of hours. I spent a little over 6 months putting the thing together, and I finished it this year. And I'm so proud of myself, and I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate it, but I'm gonna try, to do something similar. Maybe not every year, because I almost killed myself. I worked myself way too hard for it, but I'm going to use that as something to say, look, Dovey, I know your art sucks today, but you are capable of at least finding those lucky points and working with it, so you can do it. You got this. And I've made other art that I'm proud of this year, but that stands above that combination of 10 pieces fit together into one. And Redbubble took it down because Sega doesn't like me. Anyway, we had a personal problem in the house of bedbugs that caused us to completely empty the house out. And rearrange everything, and I got a chance to rearrange my room a little bit, and it's actually a little nicer than it was before, in my opinion. Things are more accessible, but God, that was not a good time. That was right after lockdown started also. Not coronavirus stuff, but the actual New Jersey lockdown started, so like we couldn't get out of the house. Especially like when it was being sprayed and stuff, we just had to stay in the car. We couldn't like go to a hotel and just wait for the whole thing to blow over. Oof, that was something. I got to 9 years of Let's Play, so this year will be the big year, 10th year, which is crazy. Got the COVID lockdown. We had the protests and continuing protests against police brutality and violence. People have found that now that they have had less time taken away from them in work, have more time for protesting, which it's something that's necessary, unfortunately. I'm sad that the protests need to happen, but like the protests need to happen and the change needs to happen. But that was a very big part of this late spring, early summer. My brother went to Israel to learn in post high school seminary, like yeshiva there, post high school thing, like I did. It didn't work out, unfortunately, partially due to COVID and a whole load of other factors. Just a lot of things that just went awry despite our best efforts. So he's back home now. And then shortly after Israel lifted its lockdown, right after he left, Israel lifted its lockdown, because when he went, it started a lockdown. So like they couldn't even go anywhere. They were like stuck right in the place. And then like half the school got COVID, so he missed that. Obviously, we had the United States elections here. Joe Biden beat Donald Trump, despite a lot of people saying otherwise. But in 17 days, he's going to be inaugurated, so that'll hopefully put an end to that. Vaccines have started rolling out for COVID. But it's not going to be as easy as just vaccination and we're all free. It takes a couple of times with the vaccine, and people still got to be careful. So remember to still social distance, wear your mask, and all that jazz. And finally, for the year, I got back surgery. If you haven't been following, I got spinal surgery. I had the rods and screws in my back replaced and enhanced, which I'm still recovering from. So yeah, fun events. Also, my older sister got married, so yay. Two. Oh, and one of my closest friends got married. And another friend had a son that I wasn't able to go to the bris for. So yeah, I missed a lot of life events this year for people that are very important for me. And that makes me really upset because when I had cancer, I didn't miss a single thing. But COVID, just physically unable to do so. Could not go there. Makes me very angry. Let's Plays wise. The beginning of the year, we finished Mother 3. I streamed Gris, which was a fantastic game. I streamed Super Hot. I started streaming Nier, and then my computer started acting up. So I stopped streaming Nier. I started streaming Bug Fables, and then I stopped streaming it because my computer and my internet were acting up. We eventually got the internet problem fixed, and I restarted Bug Fables, and hopefully I'll finish it this year. I streamed Pikuniku. I did a Let's Play of Metroid Zero Mission. I did a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Shock and surprise. On Much Games, I did Trails in the Sky, The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, which was great. On my channel, I did Metroid Samus Returns. I streamed Oxenfree, which was fantastic. Excuse me. I Let's Played the game Off. A very short Let's Play, but very unnerving, cool, interesting game. If you haven't seen the Let's Play, I do highly recommend it. And I started re-uploading an old Sunshine Let's Play from 2016, Mario Sunshine. Yeah, I didn't get to do a lot this year because, I did do a lot in some ways, but like stream-wise, I was doing, I wanted to stream through Xenoblade, and I got a good chunk of the way there, but I stopped. Just a lot of other things just had to go by the wayside because of my worsening back problems over the course of the year. It just made things like streaming and drawing and everything else very, very difficult. I'm very proud of a lot of the art that I did despite that, though. And like with the weekly update, my art will be on a Twitter moment, or a thread of Twitter moments, so I'll put that in the description if you want to check out the art that I did this year. As for video games, this is just, I guess, games that I bought as opposed to games that came out, because there's a lot of games that came out, but I did not buy all of them. But there weren't a lot of games that came out. It was because of COVID, the year just got really messed up. But they put Byleth in Smash. I got Bug Fables. I started playing it this year. I had bought it the previous year, but I actually started playing it this year. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX came out in March. Animal Crossing New Horizons came out right after COVID lockdown started. Really good timing for them. Also Doom, but I didn't buy that. Persona 5 Royal came out at the end of that month. FF7 Remake came out a few weeks later. The Bioshock collection, did that come out this year? It either came out this year or I bought it this year. That's why I have it on the list. But my brother played through Bioshock, and he really liked it. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out this year. Min Min was put in Smash from ARMS. Paper Mario The Origami King came out. Mario 3D All-Stars, which has Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. Pikmin 3 Deluxe came out. The PlayStation 5 came out, which I have one through the grace of a very good friend, very kind friend. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity came out, and Hades came out. Possibly not in that order, I don't know. Also, Fall Guys, which I have but have never played, and Among Us, which is 2 years old, but it's kind of new because it got popular. But yeah, those are the games this year that I owned, that I made myself own and or played. I didn't get to Pikmin 3 yet. Not sure what I want to do with it. But the rest of those were great. As for my top 10, so my top 10 of the year, as always, highly subjective. These are games that I've actually played. I didn't include the games that were just essentially remasters, like 3D All-Stars, Pikmin 3, or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is hard to say because they really ramped it up, but Xenoblade I'm not putting it on there either, just because they are just the same game with a little bit more content in some way. So I tried to make games that were, except for one, which I realize is going to be hypocritical, except for one game, which I feel has enough extra content to warrant putting it on the list. And also, which I guess we'll talk about first. But yeah, the rest of them are new games. So, sharing number 1 and number 2, because I cannot decide which is my favorite game of the year. Persona 5 Royal and Final Fantasy 7 Remake. And I know, like I just said, I'm not including the remakes that just add some content. But I feel like Persona 5 Royal isn't just an enhanced edition, it is the definitive edition. They made so many changes to that game, not including the extra semester at the end and the extra characters, but the quality of life changes and stuff, that it was like night and day playing it compared to the original. So I'm including it with a note that I'm being hypocritical. Persona 5 Royal was probably my game of the year. I 100% completed it. I got the platinum trophy, everything. I absolutely love that game. It came out at a great time, especially with the lockdown at the end of March and everything. And I loved it. I loved Persona 5 Royal. I loved Persona 5, but Persona 5 Royal blows it out of the water. Now, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a fantastic video game. I loved it. There were certain things I didn't like about it, and we talked about that in the Let's Play. But Final Fantasy VII is either second place, the remake, or tied for number 1. I'm not sure, because I'm still thinking about it, and we're not talking about spoilers for the game, but they wildly deviate in certain places from the storyline, which some people hated and some people liked, and I loved. Probably. And that probably is dependent on where they go with it in the second part of the remake, which we're probably not going to see for a few years. So I absolutely loved playing that game, though. It was the remake that I wanted. All the areas that I was scared that they would ruin, didn't ruin it. Few boss fights, hated them. Not because that they were hard or anything, but because they were unnecessarily annoying. But again, talked about that in the Let's Play. Aside from the boss fights, though, those few boss fights, the rest of the game, the looks, the feel, the characters, the music, everything, it was the Final Fantasy fan in me was ascending to heights unimaginable beforehand. Is it better than Persona 5 Royal, though? I don't know. I don't know where my bias as a Final Fantasy fan ends and where the, like, you know, is Persona 5 Royal perfect? Maybe. Maybe. Is Final Fantasy 7 Remake perfect? No. It's a 9.5. Maybe. I don't remember if I gave it a score, what score I gave it at the end of my Let's Play, but is Persona 5 Royal perfect? Probably. To me. Subjectively perfect. Definitely not objectively perfect. I know people that hate it, and I know the reasons why, and I understand that. But yeah. So that's my reasoning for the top two. Those two games came out very close together. I played them both at the same time, and one was a Let's Play, one was just my free time game, and just all the time that I spent playing those games, I couldn't wait to play those games. I loved them. Anyway, that's why they are both number one, / number two. Number three, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing, like I said, came out perfect time, March 20th, right after everything closed down. It was the last game that I went to GameStop for this year, in person, to pick up. I have played that game every single day since, aside from the days around my surgery, but I caught up to by the time the new year ended. I also didn't play on days where it was holidays Jewish holidays where I couldn't play, but you know what I mean. I play every day. It might be 10 minutes, it might be a half hour, it might be an hour, but that's exactly what I did with New Leaf. That's exactly what I did with Wild World. I didn't really play City Folk because I think the Wii was a bad choice for an Animal Crossing game, because Animal Crossing needs to be portable in my opinion. But I love that game. I have fun with it every day. I had that stream series that I want to try to pick up again once I'm feeling better as well, of just the island visits and things like that. That was a highlight of my year, doing those streams and just going and seeing people's islands and things, seeing the game, keep getting updates and, good updates, bad updates, but, it's just fun to play. And that game provides, it's not something that you can play for hours unless you're trying to clean up your town or do a specific task. But it's a game that you can definitely keep coming back to, and it changes incrementally, with the seasons or with your characters or, trying to get people's photos or whatever your specific task in the game is. You can find a way to keep coming back and playing it, even if it's a little bit every day. So, number 3 game of the year. Number 4. This game is my most recent acquisition, but, the hype around it, 100% deserved. Hades. I bought on Switch, because again, I like playing games more portably. And all my roguelike games, Binding of Isaac, Gungeon, stuff like that, Blazing Beaks, that's all, I have that all on the Switch. And I love that. I love it that way. I think it's great. It's so fun to play. I haven't beaten Hades yet. I haven't had time to play too much because I got it shortly before my surgery. But watching my brother play and just everyone having fun with it, like even before I played it, like for weeks and weeks, people were talking about it, making comics and drawings and everything. Like it was a game that was like really communal, and I really appreciated that. I wanted to get in on it and see, like, really, is it really that good? And the answer was yes. Yes, it really was that good. It's not like Supergiant has made bad games, really. I mean, I played a little of Transistor, and I beat Bastion, and I loved Bastion. But Hades is fantastic. So yay. Number 4. Number 5 on the list, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I have not beaten this game, and usually I like to put games that I've beaten, or at least played most of the way through. I have played a lot of it. I think I'm very far from completing it, but it is... I mean, I don't want to like spoil without spoiling like how the story goes or anything. It works as a Breath of the Wild prequel. It works as a Breath of the Wild prequel. It works as a Warriors game. It works as a Zelda game. Like, I don't know, it just has all of the elements coming together perfectly. I love the art style and the characters, and playing as Urbosa. I mean, I like playing as a lot of the characters. Impa is actually fantastic, really, but I just love Urbosa in general. So yeah, just the fact that I could play as her is great. But yeah, it's just so... It's really, really, really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, that's number 5. Number 6 is a game that I don't think came out this year, but Oxenfree. It's a game that I played this year. Not a lot of games that came out this year I bought, like, as you can see, based on the thing. And again, I disqualified a bunch because they were remakes. Otherwise, Xenoblade would probably be on this list just because of Xenoblade. Like, I don't know, Xenoblade would probably be number 5. Just because it's Xenoblade and I love it. It's Xenoblade. And the definitive edition makes it better. Like, if we're gonna take a sidetrack for a moment, Xenoblade Definitive Edition, if you didn't get the original, you didn't get the 3DS one, and you have a Switch, please, for the love of God, get the one on the Switch. If you didn't get the original, if you didn't get the 3DS, get the Switch one, please. Anyway, Oxenfree. Short game. Fantastic concept, characters, art style, mood, everything. I loved the 2 streams that we did it in. It was just very, very well put together, small game, and I think it deserves recognition, and that's why it's 6 on the list. 7 on the list, more divisive, Paper Mario: The Origami King. So yeah. We've all heard people talk about Sticker Star. We're not going to talk about Sticker Star. Some of us have heard people talk about Color Splash. I thought Color Splash was okay, but it was annoying to play. And that's what made me not finish it. It was a good game. Mechanics were really annoying to do because you had to swipe the cards from the screen. Origami King, because it's one screen... they had to change that. And they introduced some really cool concepts. They brought back, in a limited way, but they brought back partner characters in a limited way. The music, phenomenal. The area design is great. The battle system was engaging. The boss fights were fantastic and made sense, unlike Sticker Star. It's just, like, all around, I had a fantastic time with that game. I played it through all the way to the end to completion, did all the little side things. It had so many references, even outside of Paper Mario and stuff. Like, it really feels like it was a lot less constrained by whatever you know. There was an interview saying it was Miyamoto or whomever saying that the new Paper Mario games weren't allowed to have old characters; they could only have new characters or something like that, which is why they couldn't reference like Paper Mario or Thousand Year Door or Super Paper Mario, which, I don't know, it's just stupid. But they did the best with what they could, and they introduced fun characters. They actually, like, they did a good job with some really bizarre concepts. And I really have to hand it to them. I was kind of skeptical because as a Paper Mario fan, as a Paper Mario fan, I hate the series. You know, I have not been the most, you know, happy with how the series took a turn. You know, the best, it's like Thousand Year Door, original Super Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which isn't even a Paper Mario game, but it has Paper Mario in it. Color Splash, like that was the thing before. Origami King, I would put solidly after Super Paper Mario. Like if in an alternate universe we went from Super Paper Mario to Paper Mario Origami King, people wouldn't be, in my opinion, people wouldn't be as upset or calling the series destroyed as the difference between Super Paper Mario and Sticker Star. I think that if they had to transition into a different style of Paper Mario series, Origami King would have been the best bridge for that, because it still had a little bit of elements of the old stuff. It had a lot of elements of the new stuff. But yeah, so I think that game is great. I think it does not deserve hate that it's getting for being a later series Paper Mario game. I think it was really, really fun. Next is a game that definitely did not come out this year, but I played it, and that's The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, first chapter. I had a lot of fun with that game. That was a great Let's Play, fun characters. I like the fact that a good chunk of my friends are Falcom, I'm gonna say fans, but extremists. So there was hype surrounding my playing it, you know, so it helped me enjoy it because I was enjoying it in the company of people. It's an old game. It was originally a PSP game, I think. You know, released and re-released and all that jazz. PSP or PS2 or something. Somebody told me once. Somebody told me that you... No. But yeah, so... very fun game though, and hopefully this year on Much Games we're gonna go into more, because now I have second chapter, third chapter, and Cold Steel on Steam. So yay! I own the next few games in this series, so hopefully on Much Games we're gonna be going forward with that. Number nine. Astro's Playroom for the PlayStation 5. That's a tech demo for the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 does not have many games that are exclusives. I have not played Miles Morales or Cyberpunk or any of that. Those aren't even... Miles Morales might be exclusive. Cyberpunk is not. But Astro's Playroom is like a love letter to PlayStation fans. Aside from the fact that it's a tech demo of the system, mainly a tech demo of the DualSense controller, which blows my mind, just the ways that you can use it. I love it. I really love it. It's so cool. But it's got references to so many Sony things, and I grew up with Nintendo, but like, that doesn't mean I was ignorant of like Sony. Like when the PlayStation came out, you know, obviously Final Fantasy VII, I did not get that originally on PlayStation. I got that on PC when it came out on PC the next year, but it gave me a interest in PlayStation. We got a PlayStation 2 and Final Fantasy X and all that jazz. So Astro's Playroom just has a lot to it. It's like a 3D platformer with like just a lot of ways of showing off the controller, but references and things to do and things to collect, and memorabilia of past PlayStation things, and it was just all in all a really, really fun experience. I was like, wow, they actually put time into this. And if it like reminded me of anything, it reminded me of Nintendo Land on the Wii U, which Nintendo Land also is just like is a tech demo, but like really, really well done and thought out in the different types of things that you had to do for it. So yeah, Astro's Playroom is great. For number 10, I really wasn't sure what to put because I didn't get a chance to play a lot of games this year. Like I said, I spent a lot of time doing art toward the beginning of the year. Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 7, and Trails in the Sky took up my time. Those 4 things. Then, latter half of the year was pain. So I did not play many video games. I played Among Us a few times, but those times that I played it, I loved it. It is so fun to watch. It is really fun to play as long as the people that you're playing with are chill and they can understand that when you trick them, it's not because you hate them. It was really fun to play it, though. I'm putting that at number 10 because I think it deserves the recognition of, I don't know, they've just the development team and everything just put a lot into it after it became popular, and they're like, you know what, let's improve our product. And it's only like $5 or something. Like, they didn't jack the price up like some people would do. Like, they were like, okay, you know what? We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna add more stuff to it. They like another map, and they scrapped Among Us 2, and they're just incorporating that into the base game, which is really cool. Like, I don't know. I think it just deserves recognition there. If I was going to put one of the remake things, it would either be Xenoblade or Mystery Dungeon DX, because Mystery Dungeon DX was amazing. Absolutely fantastic, especially compared to like some of the 3DS Mystery Dungeon games. Like, I get kind of scared when they went from sprites to the 3D models because they kind of ruined the game with Gates to Infinity, in my opinion. Mystery Dungeon DX is just a remake of Red and Blue Rescue Team with a lot more. And very, very, very well done. I also didn't finish that yet, but it's just it's been really cool to see. Other games I played this year, Yakuza 0, only played a couple of hours of that. Otherwise, that might have been number 10 because that game is really fun. Just like honorable mentions, Mario 3D All Stars is really great. I'm so happy, even if they're executing Mario on March 31st. Bioshock is fun. Pikunika was really, really great. I like this Metroid trend that I'm on because it means that I'm playing Super Metroid next, which I've never finished, so that's going to be a Let's Play sometime this year. Super Metroid is a favorite of the series. Also, I didn't write it down here because it happened so recently. Sephiroth and Smash. Sephiroth and Smash Brothers. Sephiroth in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I freaked out. I'm still freaking out. The man named Sephiroth 1204 is freaking out that Sephiroth is in Smash. It's been an interesting year in video games. I don't think it's been a bad year in video games. I think it's just been a delayed year. But especially since like every game got delayed. Oh my goodness, every game got delayed. But yeah, I'm very grateful for 3 games this year: Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Animal Crossing New Horizons. And the dichotomy between the third choice and the first 2 is hilarious. But yeah, what are your favorite games of the year that you've played? what good things happened to you? We as human beings are conditioned to remember bad things because it's a survival response. What good things happened to you this year? Just take the time to think of, like, you know, not this year, 2021, 2020. You know, take the time to just think of something good. You know, not necessarily to say, yeah, it was actually a good year, but take the time, think of something good that happened to you this year. Because, like, for me, MagFest, absolutely wonderful, amazing experience. The Runaway Guys Coliseum Direct, which still happened, you know, they just did it remotely. Absolutely phenomenal experience. The Persona art that I'm just so proud of. Like, I cry when I look at it. I'm like, I can't believe I did it. I did it. I did it. Me, Dovey. Nobody. I did it. I'm so happy. You know, I feel like I connected more with some people. You know, you always kind of wax and wane, and, you know, go in waves with friendships. But I feel like that's the connections that I made at MagFest this year stuck. And I really hope that despite not having another MagFest to reapply the glue, means I can keep sticking. And now that I'm feeling better, I can start going to people's streams again and things like that. Yeah, I feel like there were important good things that happened this year, and I do not want to forget them. And again, like I said, I think I said at the beginning of this, or maybe in the weekly update, if you got good stuff that happens to you, write it down so that you can remember it, because your brain won't let you remember it, because that's not a survival instinct. That's why I keep it. That's why this is here, so that I always see it and I remember, oh yeah, friend. You know, and appreciate your friends. You know, people come and go surprisingly easily. So appreciate the people around you, and I hope that this year brings us all better times, happy times. We're gonna have sad times, unfortunately, because that's how life is, but here's to having more happy times than sad times. And here's to 2021. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.